Mic check 1 2 1 2. Just waking up, man. To face another day. Trying to talk as loud as possible because the video I recorded yesterday was very very low. Um, this I'm making this stuff just in case something does happen to me. That in case somebody finds this phone, hopefully somebody other than the people that's trying to terrorize me finds it. Hopefully a regular person finds it. Hopefully somebody conscious finds it. All right. I will just give you guys a quick breakdown to what I feel in my heart, what's really going on, and give you some more knowledge of stuff that I've experienced. Um, so what you know is that Anunnaki, from my theory, Anunnaki and Nephilim and all that stuff. Not only are they are false gods, I believe that they are the original um, fallen angels, right? I don't believe that they created man, but what they've done is manipulate the situation to make it appear as though they did create man, right? Because they too have a creator. They didn't just come out of the blue. They have a creator too, right? Because if they were true gods, right, human beings wouldn't be in the situation that they're in now, right? And they wouldn't have to hide amongst you. Think about it. Why would a god, lower G, have to hide amongst people that they quote unquote created and they're superior to? And then to the point where some of them live below the surface of the earth, have to hide in underground bunkers and underground cities and all this stuff, right? What you see physically is happening spiritually. You cannot be superior if you live beneath your creation. Think about it. You would usually live above. Right? That's where I like to point. You usually live above your creation, right? What you see physically is happening spiritually. You be a superior being, right? But they're beneath their creation. First point. Second, the true, not in this dimension, but in the, I want to say maybe the fourth or fifth dimension, they appear. They're hideous creatures and they're huge. When I say huge, I mean they're at least uh, 3, 4, 5 stories tall. That's how these things look. I don't even know how they say that they mated with women because it's not physically possible. They would have to change their whole dimensional structure to minimize themselves to be like a human and then try to reproduce with women, right? Because in their form and in other dimensions, it's not physically possible. You would kill a woman, right? Well, matter of fact, you wouldn't even be able to penetrate a woman to get her pregnant, right? So they would have to change their whole matrix of their system, right? And there is dimensions, right? There is definitely dimensions, right? That's why some people, for instance, when they say kids can see things, it's true because kids are coming from um, they're coming from the creator. They're coming from different dimensions, right? And then there's um, some that they say is coming back from death, being the reincarnation through the recycling system of the moon. So they say the moon is not an actual, it's not unnatural satellite, but it's used to filter souls. So when people pass, they go through the moon, and I guess they have some type of machine to harness the energy from your soul, and then wipe your memory, and then send you back down here. That type of technology has to be extremely advanced, right? I don't know how they're doing it. Maybe they stole it from the creator. I don't know how they're doing it, right? Or they maybe um, from the original man, they have learned how to create their own subspecies. That's why I said before there is a subspecies amongst human beings here, right? I think there's some that they can use to move their consciousness through, right? On top of their ability to shapeshift, I think they've created a species of human being, a subspecies of human beings that they could move amongst through the consciousness, through the mind, right? They literally are they're body jumpers, right? Body snatchers, right? They can snatch bodies, and then because it is let's say the matrix, let's say that it is a matrix in the sense where there's a matrix, right? This is all artificial. This is not really real because maybe on the in the other dimensions it does not look like this, it does not appear like this, right? Things that appear solid to us in this dimension may not be solid in the other dimensions. And then this dimension, you're you are meant to vibrate low so that way you can never ascend in the sense where you can see past this dimension. They want to keep you in this dimension, right? To literally be a slave to the system. And once you start to wake up, that's when you end up in situations where you are either killed, imprisoned, falsely accused, um, you're put on the street, right? You're I don't know, you're people assume that you're crazy, right? Because people have been caught up in the system for a long time, for thousands of years. These entities are I was assuming that they were maybe millions of years old because the earth is billions of years old prior to any human beings even being here. um, the earth was just literally growing because we look at trees now that are like huge, right? So they started off small, started off very very small, so they didn't just become a tree out of nowhere, right? The earth had to literally grow. The earth was a young being. The earth itself is an entity. It's a living organism, right? So it too had to grow. So before it could take on any other life forms, i.e., animals and human beings, mammals, right, and reptilians and snakes and other creatures and insects, right? It had to grow before any other life form could thrive here, right? I don't want to lose my point. Um, yes, I'm talking about age. So, according to theories, these entities are about hundreds of thousands of years old. That sounds more accurate to me because they had to travel from wherever they were at dimensionally, and the concept of time is very minute. I've seen it for myself. Time can be slowed down and time can be sped up. I say again, time can be slowed down and time can be sped up. I've seen it with my own two eyes, right? Time can be manipulated, especially because of the matrix in a sense where the sun comes up, the sun comes down, right? The moon rises, right? And then we see the rotational aspect of the moon rotating, right? When in fact it's not. It is what it is, an artificial satellite. And then the sun. Um, this is just my theory. I think the sun gives off two types of frequencies, hot and cold, because in the absence of the sun at night it becomes cooler. But according to and this is why I cannot believe a lot of stuff, and it's hard for me to believe it. They said that during the winter months we are closer to the sun, right? Which we know when we feel the heat from the sun during the day, it is warmer. So if the Earth is closer to the sun, it would be hotter, but instead it is colder, right? And then during the summer months, the sun we are further away from the sun during the rotational period, and that's when it's warmer. Very very confusing contradictory, up, down, left, right, right? Once again, to keep man confused, always chasing your tail, right? And that goes back to the symbol of the snake eating his tail, to constantly keep you confused, always keeping you um, not assured of what is really going on, right? But we see now what is really going on. We're literally entering into the end of times. And I'm not just saying that just because I'm in my current situation. Like I'm literally, like I'm literally in the lowest aspect of my life. But it's because now I am awake to the Nephilim, what they've been doing on this planet for a long time, right? They've been planning they've been planning the war, right? Because there is a war coming, no doubt about it. So they've been preparing for the war and the coming of the Creator, right? Meaning that the Creator was traveling from a distance, right? Whether it's physical aspect of traveling or dimensionally, right? But at the same time, the Creator, prior to Him coming, I think He sent agents here. So what they did was they tried to infiltrate the system where they will know when these agents were coming, when these we would call prophets or angels or chosen ones were coming, right? And I don't know if that's based on a spiritual aspect or based on some type of technology that they're using, but they knew that they were coming prior to the Creator coming here. So what they did was they tried to make sure that they can find out who every agent was that is against them, against wickedness, against corruption, against everything evil. They have to find out who was coming here and infiltrate them, right? Those who could not be killed, um, what they did was they just trapped them, right? They trapped them in the lore of this system, right? Give them a fancy life, made them possibly celebrities, because I think there are some agents that don't even know that they're agents for the Creator, right? Because they've been caught up into this physical aspect of life, right? The lust aspect of it, the lure of money, the social systems, right? Some of them I think don't even know. So the ones sometimes, so not everybody is our enemy. I realize now that some of them have just been lost and they're not awake to who they really are, that they're really working for the Creator, whether they know it consciously or subconsciously. But spiritually, they should be awake at this time to know what is going on, that the war is coming, the Creator is coming, and he's coming with vengeance, right? Because these are false gods, right? And they put out all these stories to divert people because they want to harness your soul energy. They're literally not just physically vampires. They are physical vampires, but they're also energy vampires as well. They're energy vampires, meaning they want to be around you to soak up as much as they can. Would they do it on another dimensional aspect? I think they do, because sometimes when certain people come around me, I feel tingling in my legs, my arms, right? So they might have tentacles or some type of thing where they attach to you and literally suck out your life force. Not to the point where you die, but take out your life force, right? While you're around them. That's why sometimes people want to touch you, right? And some celebrities, I think that they go through and don't even realize it. Certain people want to be your assistant. Certain people want to be your relative, and then they tell you certain people are your relatives when that is a lie. All they are just energy vampires that want to be around you as well, to harness what you have, whether you have gifts, whether you have knowledge, whether you have some type of, everybody has some type of gift that they have, some type of knowledge, some type of benefit that they bring to mankind in some aspect, right? They want to harness on all of it to take claim of it themselves. Not on top of being energy vampires, they are very egotistical. They love attention. They want all the attention on them. With the aspect of being shapeshifters, that's why some of them are multiple characters. Some of them are multiple politicians. Some of them are multiple celebrities, from A level celebrities all the way down to a Z level celebrity, right? This is like somebody that's on like on YouTube or TikTok or Instagram, all the way up to a politician, all the way down to a high level actor, right? Because they love the attention. They want all the attention on them. It's some type of it is some type of how do I say it? It's some type of energetical income for them to receive the attention that they get. That's why the God. That's why they took the God complex on. Like worship me. I want all of your attention. I'm the jealous God and all this. When in reality, you cannot be jealous. Think about it? Are you jealous of your children? So how then God can be jealous of you, your creation? So they put those things into there, the jealous God stuff, because they have a jealous spirit. They have jealous attributes about them. They want everything about them, right? Everything. They don't want it where nobody gets the attention but them, right? And they sometimes they even fight amongst each other, right, over attention. That's why you see sometimes celebrities and politicians get into it, right? And this is why the different religions were created as well, because each one of them wanted to be a different deity, be a different god, right? Because they after they branched off, everybody wanted their own thing, their own kingdom, their own priesthood in a sense, right? So this is why all the different religions were created, and then they once they brainwashed that region of people, then they had them, right? So they said to each other, if you have a problem with me, right? All I will do is send my flock, my brainwashed humans, right, over to you because I can then harness their energy, whether they die or live. I'm going to use them against your flock of people, right? That's why you have the Christians and the Jews and the Hindus and whatever, right? This is the truth, right? This is how they started their priesthoods. This is how they started their godhoods, right? With a lower G. This is how they started it by creating the different religions, spreading all over the different places and starting these different religions. Even if it was a small mass of people, they still use that energetic income as a way for them to I don't know, maybe it's a survival mechanism for them energetically, right? They need the energy of people, right? They need the praise and the attention of people to survive. It might be a survival mechanism, or it might be an egotistical thing. I'm not sure, but I think it's a survival mechanism because I don't understand how an entity would need so much attention, especially if you're claiming to be a god. Like, why would you need that much attention? That's like that's like a lion running around um, his I don't know, like his territory and going and screaming at all the animals around there like rawr, like look at me, rawr. You understand? It's stupid. We know that's not real. That's not a natural thing, right? Because lions are not doing that. Lions is going to be looking for food, one, right, to feed his pride, right? Listen to the word pride, right? Feed his pride, his tribe, or his whatever, right? Usually he's not even doing the work. He has his lioness doing that, right? But he's also territorial, where he protects his cubs, his women, right? His central area, his region, where he his kingdom, right? He protects his area, right? He doesn't need the attention of everybody in the region. You already know who he is. He doesn't have to advertise it like, yo, I'm over here, so y'all come over here and come holler at me. Like lions don't do that, right? So we see now that it's an egotistical thing and it's also a prideful thing. But I think it's an energetical survival thing for them where they need that attention. Um, this is why I'm not on social media anymore because I think apparently people thought I was doing what I was doing for attention. I think that I am a secret agent for the creator. Um, I thought that maybe I was the reincarnation of what they call Jesus. I feel more like the reincarnation of Tutankhamun because I feel energetically I felt connected to him. Um, I might just be part of that bloodline. I'm originally, in my heart and soul, I'm originally from Africa, right? And I might be part of the bloodline of who was known as King David and King Solomon, if those people really existed, right? Because history we know is millions of years old, hundreds of thousands of years old. So a lot of stuff has been changed, and they've played a part in changing it, right? They played a part in manipulating the situation. Um, Going back to the Anunnaki thing now. This is just my theory. Just listening to different experts and other people, which I think is them pretending to be experts and all that, right? To keep the confusion going. There was a war on Mars, right? Um, I feel like I've been to Mars in my astro body. There was a war on Mars, right? So what happened on Mars is going to happen here, where you're going to see the Earth is going to be replenished of all its resources, all of the vastness, the oceans, the water, the vegetation. It's going to be no more, right? Because I think they go from planet to planet, ruining um, not just the living inhabitants, but also the life force there. They ruin it. Like they literally go there and they go from planet to planet to ruin planets. Literally, they're troublemakers. They're they're not at peace. So wherever they go is not peaceful. Because think about it. If they say that they're the creators of man, think about it. Why man are so always at odds? Why man are always fighting, right? When this planet is so vast, it doesn't even make sense why people are even fighting. It doesn't even make sense why people are even homeless. It doesn't even make sense why people are even hungry, right? But it is a control mechanism that they use, right, to manipulate the planet. And then when things hit the fan, there is a big war, and then they just leave, or they hide underground until they can come back and do the same thing all over again, i.e., the different flood stories that we've heard, right? Um, I think that they have um, either gotten on spaceships, left and came back, or they went underground. Because this planet is a lot bigger than what you're being told. It is a lot bigger than what you're being told. That's why certain parts of the planet is off limits, right? This goes back to the different stories about different civilizations that we heard that just disappeared out of nowhere, right? The Sumerians, the Aztecs, Atlanteans, right? These these quote unquote civilizations just disappeared. Could they have gone underground? Could there be civilizations under the water? Possibility. This this planet is huge. It is far bigger than we will ever know. And then on top of that, because travel can be done interdimensionally, right? There's all type of different what we call life forms here, disguised as humans, right? On top of spaceships literally coming here. That's one of the reasons for the chemtrails too, right? To cover up the dimensional spaceships that are coming here. I've seen with my own two eyes a mothership when I was in North Carolina. Matter of fact, North Carolina is a haven for UFO activity. If you are curious about UFO activity, go to North Carolina, especially to the mountains. The higher the region, the more you'll see. And I would say if you're going to go there, on top of just the excitement and just wanting to see, fast, meditate, and at night you will see it. I seen some of this stuff during the I seen it at night, and I also seen it during what you call the magic hour, like when the sun is just about to come up and the darkness is fading away. So that's what you call like dusk, right? So I would say dusk and dawn are the best times to see it whenever they are traveling. But I've seen a mothership, and when I say the mothership is huge, And this is one of the motherships. I don't know if this was a good race of people or a bad race of aliens. I don't know, but it was huge. It was miles big, right? But it was using the cover of clouds when it was traveling through the skies. It kind of looked like Independence Day, right? And you know what? Now think about it now. That couldn't have been a mothership. That must have been like a scout ship, because the mothership would probably was still out in space, right? The motherships are probably far bigger than that. But that scout ship, if it was a scout ship, let's call it a scout mothership, it was miles, miles, at least thinking using the third dimensional scaling system. I would say it was at least uh, 2 or 3 miles wide. Right, like it literally, it appeared to me just like how you seen on Independence Day. These movies are a lot of secrets are in these movies, because they subconsciously, I think they're trying to tell you what is to come. Like they're literally telling you what is going on without telling you. And I've heard people say that it's because of a karmic thing, to say that, hey, look, we told you in the movies that this was going to happen, or this is happening, so that way there is no guilt on their part, right? Like that's why I know that they were created, because if you were a god, lower G, you wouldn't have to worry about karma, right? You wouldn't be worried about telling people what's really going on if you were quote unquote God. You're God. Why do you have to worry about anything karmically, right? So they too will be judged. I say again, they too will be judged, right? God, honest truth. It's because they have a creator. They did not create themselves, right? Because realistically, they wouldn't even have came here. They were running from something. You must have done something wrong, right? And this goes back to the fallen angel story, right? Now, I believe the creator made certain angels with special abilities, special gifts, right? They've used those to turn against the creator and feel like they can be their own quote unquote god, and go to different planets and create life, right? And manipulate life, and have their own civilization, their own whatever, their own kingdoms. Because it's all about ego at the end of the day. And we see it with human beings, even on a religious aspect. Everybody's going to heaven, quote unquote, right? But yet you have so many churches. Think about that. Everybody's going to heaven, but egotistically and based on pride, I want to have my own church, my own kingdom, right? So this is the aspects that I feel like they have put down into the other subspecies aspect of human beings. So on top of that, I know I'm all over the place. Then you also have, I don't make the video too long. You also have the shape shifting abilities, and now the time is growing shorter. Um, to me, I feel like people don't have anything to do. People are just driving around. I see people just driving around. People just go. People just walk around stores. Like there's nothing to do, right? Nothing to do. Like people are like running out of things to do. Like people like, to me nowadays, people literally look like clones and androids, right? And it looks like a movie out here. It looks like a video game out here. That's why you hear about people getting in criminal activity, because they're bored. They have nothing to do. They're just doing stupid stuff. Like literally just doing stupid stuff, right? Because they're bored. They have nothing to do. People are doing drugs. People are getting drunk all day, right? They have nothing to do. Some people are having sex all day. Some people are getting tattoos all day. Some people are getting piercings and deforming their bodies all day, right? People are finding out different ways to kill themselves. People are experimenting with particles to start interdimensional travel. Not knowing that they're bringing demons onto this third dimensional plane, right? which is hastening the coming of the Creator, because he's seeing once again, going back to the story, possibly mythology or possibly truth of Sodom and Gomorrah, right? Where men are being defiled, murder is increasing, greed is greed is being promoted, being wicked is promoted, being evil is promoted, being a thug or a gangster, which all leads down to the lower dimensional, vibrating to vibrate low, right? Having sex without love, um, marriages are being torn apart, children are being tortured all day. Sometimes children are being killed. This goes back to the energetical thing for them. Uh, because children are vibrating very, very high. Children are very happy, right? So they're taking that from the children, the innocence from the children, raping them, killing them, and then you're raping and killing women, right? So there's no protection of women who are the nurturers of life, right? Because they children are born, they're carried in the womb before they come into the world, right? And that is a physical thing into a spiritual thing, into a intergalactical thing, right? Because you're surrounded by water, right? But it's dark in there, so it kind of looks like space, right? And then you're traveling through the womb, which is like you said, like a like you see in the movies. If you see a lot of these movies where they talk about intergalactical space travel, like sliders and Stargate. You see, it's a water, it's a circular water, and then you see it go into like a tube thing. So I said, though, that's showing you the birth process, right? Like we're literally coming from dimensions into this physical aspect, and it's always water. Water is, they even say it in movies a lot of time. Water is water represents like a balance, like a balancing force field. Like water represents a lot of things, not just in this physical aspect of the planet, but intergalactically, water represents a lot of things, right? Um, I'm going on a tangent, man. I don't want to talk too long, but yeah, in case anybody finds the video, man, that's just my take on it, man. The true universal creator is coming back, and these entities are going to fight to the very end. They are going to fight because they see this planet as their kingdom, right? And I don't think that the things that's being done now is what the creator intended for mankind to go through, right? Matter of fact, I'm not even sure if the creator even had plans for what they were gonna do on this planet. Like he might be at a loss to what was been going on this planet, right? Because he might not have known. If you have a corporation, say a huge corporation, right? And you taught a lot of your employees how to do certain things, right? You've given them certain abilities to do certain things, right? And then they branch off and then they do their own thing behind your back. How do you, when do you find out? Unless you do your own investigation or you hear about it, right? And we hear about it all the time. Companies where you have the employees, once employees branch off and they go do their own thing, right? Sometimes successful, sometimes not successful, right? All right. Just my thoughts, man. Just me thinking out loud about a lot of stuff. Um, it's the kid, man. Like I said, I think I ascend from Tutankhamun's bloodline. All right, peace. Spiritually, spiritually. All right.